Hi, I'm Kate Gleim from the House of Design in Red Bluff, California. And I would like to share with you a woodland centerpiece that you could create for a table, whether it was your dining table, cocktail table, could even be an outdoor patio table. But it's very simple to make using pre-made bushes and some cute little bird figurines. To begin this design, you'll want to choose a nice flat basket, something like this, a low basket, maybe with a handle because it adds a little bit of interest to it. And I particularly like this one because it's got this wonderful twiggy effect to it that looks very woodsy and will fit with the style of design that we're creating. The base for the arrangement is going to be a silk bush, and this happens to be a little small leaved English ivy. And the first thing that you need to do to create the design is to style the plant. And that simply means to take it out, and everything's wired, so you have to manipulate each of the branches and put them into position to use them in the design. So you simply pull all of the individual stems out, creating a rosette form, much the way an African violet grows, with all the leaves around a center, or the petals on a rose, which is where it gets its rosette name from. So we could also look at that sort of as the spokes of a wheel, and we've got the center, and we pull everything out this way to give it that shape. And then, using Mother Nature as your teacher, you can always look out to her and see how the plant actually grows in real life, to see how you might want to bend and control the stems. So this is pretty much ready to go. We'll just take the stem. We're not going to do any fancy mechanics. We're just simply setting it in the basket. And then you can pull your branches through, work these vines around the basket. You can leave them as long as you'd like to. It simply depends on how long you'd like the centerpiece to be, how wide this way. If you want it to be narrower, just take and bend your stems around until they're a little bit shorter. We can weave them up the handle. Let them come down over the front so that it creates some depth. And twist them around until you have them in a position that you like them. And that's pretty well set to go. Then I picked out a pretty bird's nest that's made of sticks and has a few eggs in the center of this, since we're adding birds to it. And this will just weave down, there go the eggs, down into the design. Just kind of set it in there and nestle it into the ivy. And since I want to use these birds in here, when you set them in there, they kind of disappear down into the design. So we're going to take a small pot. This is a 3-inch clay pot. You can use anything you have at home. You could use a measuring cup if you needed to raise this up. So we'll set this down into the ivy, nestled securely into the basket, so we'll be able to set our bird on top of it. Then we've also chosen a few little fern plants and a beautiful little selaginella plant to add to the design. They're going to add texture and kind of fill in the arrangement. And we'll just tuck those in around that clay pot, and adding a couple of these ferns around the nest to kind of enclose it and make it feel like it's in the woods. And I also picked out a couple of moss pads to add to the design, and these they have backs to them, and you can just tuck these into the ivy. It adds some wonderful texture, and again, moss always makes one think of the woods. And tucked right on the inside like so. Then adjust your ivies to make sure they're where you want them to be. And we can add our birds to the design then. If you're concerned about the birds staying on the little riser that you've used, you can use earthquake or museum putty, some type of tack to hold them down. Even florist clay works really well for that. And then lastly, of course, we're going to add our last 2 birds to the design. And you can kind of tuck those in anywhere you'd like to go. And we'll have our arrangement ready for our table. If you'd like to see more ideas on designs for your home, please check out our website at www.shophouseofdesign.com.